title of the video for today is Bad Timing Leads to More Loss. Apparently the universe, God, wants me to let go. My attorney has been in the hospital with her significant other since Saturday or Sunday. We were supposed to follow up on the appeal on Monday, but I've been unable to reach her. I finally talked with her daughter and learned that he was having major surgery. She is in the hospital with him. My next door neighbor, who is losing her home, does not have her cell phone. It's lost. Another neighbor went in yesterday for major surgery as well. Meanwhile, without the update on the appeal before the appeal court, the bank has placed a large dumpster in my former driveway, ready to throw out the items I could not remove. Remember, I had to build a 2-car garage already. Dr. Mary left me a lot of antiques, plus I had many things of sentimental value to me that did not get taken out of the garage because of time restraints and storage capacity. As I said, I need to let go. It's not easy knowing the injustice of this entire situation. And no, I won't go on that website where they want to argue with it. They want me to argue with everyone. I'm tired of fighting against an unjust system run by liars and ignorant people who want to maintain the status quo. Indeed, yesterday was not a fun day for me. In fact, at one point in the late afternoon, I actually felt as if I was having a heart attack, although after resting, breathing deeply, and praying and meditating, the pain did subside. But it was the same as previous heart attacks that I had, that intense pain in my chest. Maybe it's a sign of transformation too, who knows. But as I said yesterday, was not good. When I talked to the attorney's daughter for about an hour, she just spent a lot of time with me. She wanted me to go and immediately just go and take pictures of everything, but I don't have one of those cameras on my cell phone. It's just a bare bones essential cell phone. It makes calls and receives calls. It doesn't do pictures and all the other stuff that cell phones do nowadays. And I certainly am not going to go back into my storage and try to find a camera. I have a camera somewhere that I haven't used in years, but there is one that exists, but I don't know exactly where it is. And again, I've got a 2-car garage warehouse filled with stuff. The library part, the books are pretty much to the ceiling. And there's a lot of books. Dr. Mary had a lot of books, and so did I. And they're all there. But all of my tapes, my cassette tapes of all the radio broadcasts that I did, they're all gone. My magazines that I published for 5 years, they were in the garage, and I'm sure none of them were touched. All of my nuts and bolts and many major hardware were up in the cabinet in the garage. I don't think any of that was taken out. So not my tools. I think not all of my tools were taken out, but some of them were in the house. And of course, they got taken and then brought with me. In fact, a lot of them are in my trunk, because I have 2 toolboxes that are in my trunk. But some of the bigger tools, shovels and stuff like that, I think some of that got taken because I remember unloading them into the garage and moving them. But there's antiques up on the shelf in the garage, antique lamps, and a whole bunch of stuff. I can't even remember all the stuff that's there. And some an antique love seat that needs repairs. But the frame is good and everything. It just has torn cushions and stuff like that. So anyway, I have to just wave goodbye, apparently, to all that stuff. Now, my attorney had told me last week that we have a major lawsuit Indeed, as I think I said in one of the videos, when I went to court, they didn't even have a court stenographer taking the recording what was being said. In 45 minutes of court hearing, there was nothing documented. Again, it was just the judge, the PNC attorney, myself, and 4 sheriff deputies, 3 in chambers and 1 in the back where I had been sitting until I went into chambers and sat down at the desk. Now, of course, I've had people tell me that I should have filed papers, this papers and that papers, and there are all sorts of common law stuff that I could have and should have done, many of which I already had done, including filing UCC ones and then putting a land patent on my home, posting the notice of land patent on my front door, which has been posted for several years prior to the taking of it. I took it down when they were taking me out of my house. I remember taking that off the front door, but it had been actually nailed to the front door with small nails all those years since the land patent was filed. But none of those remedies accounted for anything when you're dealing with criminal courts and judges that have a vested interest, a monetary interest, in deciding on behalf of the banks. How are you supposed to get justice when the courts aren't even real courts? They don't follow the law. They actually break their own rules. And I mean, I'm a first-hand witness of that. In fact, I'm a first-hand witness. And the most recent hearing is one example. And you cannot take property from someone with an oral agreement. It has to be in writing. But they took property from me with an oral agreement. The only one that put it in writing was me with an affidavit, and that's not how you transfer property. Not lawfully in any state in the United States, but that's how they did it, and I was not allowed to bring it up in the court. So anyway, because of the situation with my attorney, because my one neighbor, the car was not in the driveway, I could not call. I know I had already learned that her cell phone went missing, so I couldn't call her. My other neighbor I talked to the brother, I believe it was brother-in-law. I had never met him previously, but my other neighbor is having surgery, and so he was not available, and the other neighbors weren't home, and the neighbor who lives across the street from me is a malicious person, and if there would be anybody that would cause problems, it would be that particular gentleman. So I was not left with much alternative except to wave goodbye and say, okay, I guess I've lost that stuff. It's all going to go into the trash and be thrown away because it's of no value. A lot of it's of no value to anybody else except, of course, the antiques. I mean, those things can be converted into money, and I had a lot of lumber. I had lots of lumber because Dr. Mary's ex-husband was a carpenter, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that's where my lumber all came from. It was up in, I had to build things to put the lumber on up high, extended down from the roof of the garage. So there's a major loss, and it hurts. And you people that want to keep attacking me, I've never had so many dislikes in my life on my videos. It's like a club now that just floods dislikes. I wish the hell all of you would go away, go dry up. If you don't like something, just stay away from my videos. Don't be attacking. I'm under enough pressure already without attacks from people that I don't even know and people that are trying to defend the banks. The banks have no lawful defense. They operate an illegal syndicate